All right, everybody, welcome back. My name is Pale Ale Poppy. We were gone last week, vacationing, doing big things, Met up with Chosen last week, so we hung out, we're all in our mid-20s now, just about, just hanging out. So, cool little vacation week. We missed y'all. Hope you guys missed us. Episode 48. Yeah, man, we got a lot of topics, man. Got a lot of topics this week.
Yeah, it was fun. I haven't been to LA in months, so it was definitely a needed vacation. Definitely came back with the sickness, though. That shit is some ass, bro. I haven't been around that many people. When we went to Universal, I haven't been around that many people in months.
Yeah.
So my immune system just took all that shit, concocted it. It was like, nigga, sit your ass down this week. So I've been sick.
We gotta incorporate whatever you came in contact with. We gotta study it. So you're gonna be a little under the weather.
Yeah, I am.
You gotta fight it off, bro. and write the rule book next time. So
yeah. You definitely will be hearing my voice a little different this time, but it's all right. We'll make it through. We just stumbled upon some interesting news.
Interesting. This is like fresh off. We just when we pressed record, we saw this on Twitter.
Really, really sad story right here. Jonathan Majors has been arrested in New York for charges of assault against a woman for, what was it, strangulation,
assault. Like, remember, this is just fresh. I don't know if this is true or not.
It was reported by TMZ. This shit is true.
I'm just like, my dude.
There's other people talking about this too.
My dude, he's at the top of his career. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
And this just happened. This is recent. He's just being arrested.
Yeah, I'm just like, talk about now. He fucked his momentum. Like, I'm just like, if he actually did this, he's a piece of shit. Let me clarify that. If he did this, he's a piece of shit. He deserves what he's gonna get. But I'm like, why are you doing this shit at the top of your fucking career? It's
because
the same thing with John Moran. Like, same thing with John Moran, or whatever that guy's name is. Like, fuck. Yeah. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, get the bag. Get the bag. And if you want to, and I'm not saying you should. I'm not condoning this. But if you're gonna fuck around, why not fuck around until you are has been? Why are you doing it now that you're at the top? I don't understand that. I don't get it.
An angle. I mean, a lot of this stuff, I don't know about, the history of it, but I would assume that if one person would do it one time, they've either done it before or are liable to do it again. So it's probably just a pattern of behavior, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just a toxic individual or just an evil human being, it's not just on one occasion. It's on multiple. Yeah. It's just your pattern of behavior.
Like, I can't imagine like choking somebody. Like, that's just like a
man.
That's a feeling. That's something I can't imagine. Like,
when these dudes that really don't have that much play before they reach that peak, when they finally get to that peak, they don't know how to handle it. They just don't know. And a lot of these men today are incelish. I don't know when that became. I mean, because
I don't think Jonathan Majors was ever incelish, though.
I don't think that just because he sexually assaulted somebody, is it sexual assault or is it just assault?
So it was just assault, and it was just strangulation.
So he just attacked a woman?
That's all that from what I can tell. But I don't think a lot of further details have come out yet.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking it was sexual assault.
No, I was saying harassment, but it doesn't say if it was sexual or not.
Okay. It probably was. I don't want to put that on him, but it probably was, dude. Men are crazy.
But I'm like, a lot of these guys, I'm like, maybe I had it, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just different where I just wasn't fucked up. But I feel like a lot of these guys probably were fucked up as a kid.
How old is he?
He's like 34, right? He's like 35.
Oh, so he's lived enough life. If something happened before, he probably would have heard about it by now, right?
Yeah, you would think. He's 33. 33. Okay.
Still a young dude.
Not that
this
much.
This is disgusting, though. I feel bad for this. I feel really bad for this. I mean, like you were saying, he's just now hitting his full stride.
He's just now hitting his stride, yeah.
But he's like a superstar now.
He's a superstar. As of this year.
You go and do something like this. And they didn't even say he was like aggravated or anything like that. They just said he assaulted somebody.
Strangulation. The strangulation is the problem. I don't know every time I think of strangulation, I always think of that episode, that SpongeBob episode, that big ass dude who would just choke the shit out of people. This big ass fish dude, he would just choke the shit out of people, and he was like choking SpongeBob.
And how the fuck do they say?
That shit saying that terrifies me.
Like, they're saying that him and his representative are denying it. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, I guess. I don't know, because you're probably gonna have to fight this shit. I mean, he's going to jail, so he's gonna have to fight this shit in court. But I mean, for anybody to say that this is it's something that they didn't do, we saw that already with Tory Lanez. I mean, it's pretty obvious that if you're getting arrested, dude, you did it. You did it.
Not always.
There's enough evidence for you to get arrested.
Not always.
You did it. Yes, you did it. You did it.
Black men leading the number of exoneration. We're gonna cut this because I don't want to look stupid.
I don't like cutting all the time. Just go with it.
Exoneration. Yeah. Just wanna. I'm pretty sure that's what the word was, but I just wanted to. For some reason, I wasn't mixing it up. But yeah, black men lead in the number of exonerations. You know what I mean? So like, there are plenty of black men who get framed for crimes all the time. They get drugs planted on them. I just can't agree with what you saying.
We're talking about an assault case. We're not talking about a drug bust or something like that, or a murder or something like that. We're talking about an assault case. The man probably did it. I mean, I don't even think there's anything. I don't think there's any deniability. Of course, he's gonna say I didn't do it. Fucking O.J. Simpson said I didn't do it. You know what I mean? Everyone's gonna say I didn't do it because no one wants to go to jail, which I guess is what you're supposed to do. If you're in his case, I don't know. I probably would just admit to it. Bro. In what position?
Move, though.
In what position are you to where you would assault somebody and you didn't do it? How does that work?
Well, I guess I could see that. I mean, maybe you just get screwed over. They just bring you in the lineup. You fit the description. The person's just like, well, it was dark and he was Negro.
He's Jonathan
Majors.
Majors.
They just point at you.
Stop. He's Jonathan Majors. We were just talking about situations like Kobe and Michael Jackson. Like, those people are easy to identify. There's no way you got confused. She probably said him by name. Yes. It wasn't just a point. She didn't just point her finger. She said Jonathan Majors. Like, this shit is not... Megan Thee Stallion got shot and said Tory Lanez did it.
In this case, I can agree. That probably was him.
We always try to find different ways. I know because it's black men and there's a history of things not going our way in the judicial system, but we always try to make excuses for these black men. Or for men in general, not just black men. We always try to make excuses about like, oh, but. There's always all these buts and ifs, man. If a woman says that some nigga did something to her, especially a nigga of this caliber of fame, the nigga did it. And I think we could just leave it there.
I just don't understand why, though. Like, strangulation, bro?
We're just going to have to wait to see what the facts are. If we really
and you
care
do
that
this
much.
at the height of your career. It's just stupidity to me.
Yeah, it really sucks.
I already don't commit crime. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do anything. Like, I'm like, I don't even jaywalk. You know what I mean? And if I was at his height of his career, I'd be extra scary. You know,
Just cautious.
I wouldn't even. I would stop hitting those yellows. You know, I run through those yellows. You know, that's legal. That's completely legal. I go through those yellows, but there's a risk there. I wouldn't even do that if I was at the height of my career. I wouldn't even do that. I don't want anything tarnishing my name. And of course, me getting a traffic ticket is not gonna stop me from getting work. You know what I mean? Things happen, but I'm still like, I'd be extra scary. But I don't know. This dude, John Morant, and probably plenty others. I just don't get it.
I don't like comparing John Morant to this, though. I know what you're saying, though, because it's just
I'm just talking about dudes just wilding. Like, period.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They both were wilding. Now, one was assaulting someone, and one was just brandishing a firearm.
One actually committed a crime.
Well, technically, John Morant committed a crime brandishing a firearm in public.
I don't know if it was a crime or not, because he didn't get arrested for that.
But, you know, what the NBA considered an internal crime, a league crime. So,
yeah, indecency.
So, yeah, that's all I have to say. I think until we get more facts, you know, I'm pretty sure it's probably, like you said, it's probably true. But I would like to see how this pans out. And I don't know. I don't really, other than that.
He's going to have to go through, in order for his career to get repaired after this, bro, do you know, I mean, obviously he's going to go to jail. But after he comes back, do you know how much work it's going to take for him to reboot his career? When this type of stuff happens, bro, you are just finished, essentially. You might come back. Sometimes that does happen. But most of the time, there's always going to be something. When Kobe Bryant died, Gayle King was talking about how he was accused of like, someone's always going to come back to something negative that you did. And even if you didn't do it, like, did Kobe Bryant, did he settle out of that? that case?
I don't remember.
I think he settled out of that case, but I don't remember either. But even then, because I don't think necessarily settle means guilt. So it's still up in the air to me. Maybe that's the wrong take to have, but to me, it seems like it's kind of up in the air if someone settles out of court. In most cases. But for this to happen, bro, I don't think there's any way he's going to recover from this. How would he?
Yeah. Maybe.
Especially in the feminist climate that we live in. Not saying it's a good or bad thing. It's a good thing, actually. But not saying it's a bad thing. But in this climate that we live in, there's no way he's going to be able to attack a woman and come back from this shit. I don't think there's anybody that can do that.
Especially if she's a white woman. He's fucked. He's completely fucked.
Yeah, I don't think they released any information about the woman.
He's completely fucked.
Somebody will probably go after.
I'm just like, damn, bro. Like, you at the fucking peak. Like, what are you doing? Probably a history. He probably has a history of this, and he's just gotten away with it. But like, you're at the peak. Like, why would you like? This man could have had 5 more years of just absolute runs. I really believe that, if not more. 5 years of just having multiple movies come out. And he's supposed to be playing Kang, so I wonder how that's going to pan out.
Oh, yeah. Because all the connections that he has and stuff. I wonder if Michael B. Jordan is going to make a statement.
Maybe. That's his homie, so probably.
Yeah, weren't they like besties now?
Yeah.
Had all these big dreams and endeavors, little bromance going on.
But it could be some Hollywood fugazi. But we don't know. Maybe they are cool, but like, could be some Hollywood fugazi nonsense.
I don't know. Michael B. Jordan seems like he's a pretty authentic guy to me. I don't think he's any fraud. I mean, I think we saw that pretty clearly when he was when he remembered that chick called him a corny ass nigga all the way back in high school.
I don't try to act like we cool now. I don't like that either. That fugazi where you come up and all of a sudden it's like, I used to like you back then. We were cool. It's like you were the biggest bully. Like let's not act like,
dude.
Like, do you think that they actually remember? Did they actually? Is there actually a lapse in memory, or are they really just playing games? I really don't know.
Has that ever happened to you?
Not yet, but it probably will at some point. Somebody be like, "Oh, we used to be best of friends." And
if somebody called you, if someone from high school called you, because shit happened in high school.
Oh yeah, we know.
If someone from high school saw you in person 10 years from now and said, "Remember when I did this to you?" Are you really gonna like have some type of malevolence toward them?
Depends on who it is, but I won't be mad. I'll probably call it out in a Michael B way. But that's probably.
So how would you feel?
It's probably one hand or even less than that I could say of people that I would actually will call them out on some bullshit.
And so how would you feel if they had a whole internet talking about, oh, Elliot is corny because he called out somebody that did some shit to him in high school. And you didn't even really call it out. You just mentioned it.
We just gonna clear the air. Let's not act like we go way back. Nigga, we don't go shit. You did not fuck with me back then. You know what I mean? Like that's my mentality. Not
how it was happening.
There is no way back.
Everybody has such a
you did not fuck with
perspective on that. I really don't think that was as big of a deal as people made it seem. And we already talked about it. We talked about
so we're not gonna spend too much time on it. But I'm just like, we do not. There is no way back. You did not fuck with me. Like, period.
Why do you think that she didn't fuck with him just because she called him corny as a high schooler?
Corny is not a nice thing to say about somebody. When I was growing up, when I was a kid,
and she didn't even say that she was going way back with him.
Or like they used to call me like awkward because I would be nervous around people I didn't know. Like I'm better now. Like now I can talk to strangers fine. But when I was a kid, I'm still finding myself calling somebody weird and awkward because they are still navigating, finding themselves. And you are too, but you're trying to pretend like you're not, and you're trying to point the fingers at somebody else. That's fucked up. I'm gonna call you out on that. I'm gonna call you out on that.
And she also wasn't trying to make it seem like they were buddy either. I think people blew that way out of proportion. I think there's a lot of people that get insecure about shit that happened way, way, way back, where you don't even care about what happened back then. You don't even identify as the type of person that you were when you were fucking 16.
I don't identify it, but like when I come across certain people, I can't help but like feel flashes of who I once was. Sometimes, like I'll feel it for a moment, and I remember, oh, this is who I am. But the memories are powerful. Memories are powerful. I'm telling you, strong enough memory can pull you back to that place.
Yeah,
that's why people have PTSD. They'll hear certain noises and they're instantly pulled back to the battlefield. That shit is real.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it's as serious as that, but
and I feel like
it
that
can
should
pull
go
you back.
I feel like, if you're dealing with that type of trauma, if Michael B. Jordan actually had trauma from someone calling him corny, why
It's
the hell
probably
was the whole
it's
entire-
probably way worse than that. People just are downplaying what that meant to him. Just because you don't think it's that serious doesn't mean to him that like someone calling you awkward and weird. It's like, that doesn't mean shit. But when you were a kid, when you go back to being a kid, that shit was pretty hurtful. It's like, I'm trying to find myself. I'm a kid. And y'all trying to shame me because I'm trying to find myself. I'm trying to figure out.
But
who
I don't
I
think
am.
that we should
You know what
demonize the woman just because at 16.
But we're not demonizing her as a woman or because she's a woman. We demonizing her
that's
for
not
being
what I'm saying.
for being a bully. Period. That's
I
it.
don't agree with that.
Male or
she was
female.
fucking 16 years old talking about some random nigga that went to her high school. Some random ass nigga. You know how many odds were
And he was
against Michael B.
probably
Jordan
mad that on
becoming
their
Michael B.
podcast.
Jordan?
That's
Huh?
true. I was saying that she was also probably mad because I'm pretty sure a few weeks before that on her podcast they was talking about how he's a cornball. They were going in deep about how much
Who
he was
cares?
a cornball before that
Who
whole
cares?
thing went down. Oh, I knew him in high school. He was a cornball. Like,
It doesn't make someone a bully
he's a
because they
corny
called
nigga.
somebody corny.
Yeah, he's a corny nigga. He's like one of those nice, but those are to be the best men though. But he's still a corny nigga.
Like there
That's
was
what
like
she was saying.
Yeah, there was like it was like her and her like this other lady on her podcast was like talking basically shit about him, saying he was a cornball and he was corny and like, oh, I knew him back in high school and whatever. But you don't know what triggers people. Most people, like someone calls me corny, I don't care because I know I'm corny. I have corny elements. Like I'm a nerd too. I can give a fuck. I've accepted that. See, I couldn't accept that in high school. Now I'm older. That's who I am. There's a swag. If you rock it, there's a swag to it. If you could rock it with real confidence, there's a swag to it. That's what I had to learn. You know what I mean? But some people don't get over that shit. Some people, it still bothers them. He probably doesn't want to be associated with being corny even today.
Yeah, I hate that everybody just dogged on him. I hate that shit. Same way with I think like people just figure out because people probably just find Michael B. Jordan corny. They probably find him sexy, but they probably find him corny as well because he's not like a hood ass nigga. Same thing with like Chloe Bailey. How
they say that she's corny in a different way though. I've heard people say
I don't think they're calling her corny. They're just calling her like over sexualized. That's the narrative I've heard.
But they say it's corny that she's doing that when people I've seen people say, and I don't agree with this. I think she has plenty of sex appeal. She's fine as hell to me. But I've seen people say that in her trying too hard, it's reducing her sex appeal and it's actually corny.
Yeah, those are the insecure
That's
people.
what I've seen people on Twitter say. That
Those are
she's
just
corny
insecure people.
for doing the most. Like there are women who have so much sex appeal, just them doing them, period. Just walking, just talking, just being themselves. It's just oozing sex appeal. But they say with her, she has to like be goofy with it. She has to like do the most.
Yeah. That's really fucked up because it's a narrative that's probably going to stick with her. I mean, they were even getting on her for the Swarm thing where she had that one scene, the sex scene in Swarm. I saw it was trending. Chloe Bailey's Swarm was trending and people were like dogging her out because she had a sex scene. I don't think anyone has ever done that with any other. I don't know what it is about her. I really think it's just a bunch of insecure people, men and women. Men because they can't ever get a chick like Chloe Bailey that comes close to her sex appeal. And then women because they can't personally, individually come anywhere close to Chloe Bailey and her sex appeal. So everyone's just dogging her out because they're just fucking jealous. Probably at the main when you break it down. Because I thought the scene was hot as fuck.
The scene was fine, bro.
I thought it was hot.
The arch game was on point.
The arch game.
I was bucking my eyes when I saw it on Twitter because I saw it on Twitter. I was like, I gotta watch the show
it a
now.
couple of times.
I was bucking my eyes. I was like,
I watched it a couple.
And
of times, bro.
the whole scene was jokes, bro. The scene was jokes to me because the dude was clapping from the back and he was just looking at
Idris like made that he was like
the main character. He was just looking at her like, "What's up? You see how I'm stroking? Like, you trying to get some too?"
Yeah,
she was peeking through the door.
That show was wild. I haven't finished it yet, but like that penis scene was disturbing.
And for those who don't know, Swarm is Donald Glover's new show. You know, he did Atlanta. Childish Gambino's a rapper. He's a multi-talented guy. He's just his new show called Swarm. And I don't want to spoil because people have been kind of spoiling. I've been doing it too. But it's just like evil Atlanta. Just think if like
we're gonna spoil it. I don't give a fuck. We're gonna spoil it. We'll just give them an alert.
This is an alert for you. It's essentially just like so think about your most obsessed Beyonce stan. That's what the show is called, Swarm, because the Beehive. It's supposed to be about like an obsessed Beyonce fan, but it's like it's a different person, but she's like that universe is Beyonce essentially. and they make it very clear that she is and she like wears a lot of the same outfits as Beyonce. Like they make it very clear that's that universe's Beyonce. She's like a super obsessed like think Selena, the lady that killed Selena. Like her, like that.
She's just a murderer.
She's
that's
like
why all those memes are like,
murderer.
"What's your favorite artist?" That's the
question. Maniac murderer.
That's the question she always asks everybody right before she kills them. What's your favorite artist?
Who's your favorite artist? So she just goes around. She literally gets on Twitter and just murders trolls. She just fucks up trolls. She tracks down
people really do that in real
trolls
life too.
Who talk shit about the Beyonce lady, whose name is Nija in the show. She finds anybody says, "Oh, Nija can't keep a man. Oh, Nija, she ain't shit. Oh, Nija is garbage." She's like, "Okay, bet. Got the IP address. Okay, let's go." And she'll drive across the country and murder them.
I just couldn't get really behind the show. Like I knew by maybe like the third episode that I wasn't going to like it. I mean, maybe like the second episode actually, because it just felt like she was killing for no reason. But it didn't feel like good enough of a. I know that's the concept of the show is that she's an obsessed fan. So she feels like she's like doing Nija's bidding, kind of like sticking up for her by killing people, but it just didn't feel like enough substance. It didn't feel like it was dramatic enough.
But I think it was more than that. I think in a lot of ways, it was like a mix between Nija killing for her sister. Because you'll see at the end, and you probably won't get there, but at the end when she finally meets Nija, and we don't even know if it was real or not, because she's a lot of people call her an unreliable narrator. Shit'll just be going on, and you're literally just watching one of her fantasies, but in reality, she's probably in a mental hospital. She's an unreliable narrator. But at the end, she somehow gets into a Nija concert. And she gets on stage, and Nija brings her up on stage. And when she like looks at Nija, she just sees it's just Chloe Bailey's face. It's just over Nija's face.
Oh,
and then it just like ends with her like Nija taking her to her house, and the show just goes off. Like really weird ending.
Yeah,
but we don't know if that actually happened or not.
I didn't like it, bro. I also don't even like the new seasons of Atlanta either. You know, so it's probably just me having a bone to pick with Donald Glover more so than just like I don't like the actors or I don't like the story. It's probably just Donald Glover. I don't like his version of creativity.
Yeah, he's weird, man. I think he's like Jordan Peele on LSD. Like that's what I think.
Don't compare him to Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele's movies are so much better.
That's why I said on LSD because it's just like he's trying to be Jordan Peele, but he's way too high on acid.
He's trying to be anybody. I think that he just has an interesting perspective. And people always have had a problem with Donald Glover's perspective. Remember when they were getting on him because he said that thing about liking white women?
Yeah. And he's like, girlfriend is like half Asian or something like half
People
white,
always have a problem with his perspective because he's like a suburban guy. Where's he from?
I have no idea. I think he's from Atlanta though. I mean, that would make sense.
You could be from the suburbs of Atlanta.
But I don't know, man. I can't get behind that whole like, well, he's a suburban dude. He only dates white girls. Like, I still can't.
I think it gives you an excuse.
Understand though, like if you're in school and you're dating white women, like, and that's all that's around you. I get it.
Yeah.
Like when we went to school, there was like black people were like 3 or 4% of the school.
There was literally like maybe 4 black girls
in the entire school.
Well, in the entire high school. Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, well, damn. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of options.
Yeah. And I think if you grow up in that, because we were talking about that one dude that we know from high school too.
Yeah.
If you grow up around that, your friends are probably all going to be white.
Yeah.
The people that you hang out with at parties are probably going to be white. Like, you're probably just going to feel more comfortable with white people. It happened to me. I had to work through that.
I've always been kind of in the middle because a lot of my friends that I'm still friends with now are black, or like Afro-Latino.
But you went to a black school, didn't you?
I went to like a mostly Latino school, but there was a lot of black. It was a decent amount of black kids there. It was a decent
so you had the exposure.
Way more than when we were in high school. Way.
I'm growing up in literal like
it was probably like 20.
Suburbs.
It was probably like 20% of the school.
White school is white suburbs, and then you just end up getting comfortable around that too.
Yeah. So I have like most of my black friends come from there. I have a white friend who went to that school, and another one of my homies, he's Afro Latino. When I went to or I doxed my school, but anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, can you cut that? Can you cut that? Yeah,
I'll blink it out.
Yeah, but when I went to middle school, it was mostly black, and then when I went to high school, that's when it was mostly white. So that's where the shift kind of came in. But even in high school, most of my friends, the shift in just the friend group. But even in high school, half my friends were black, so nothing really changed. Like nothing really changed. Like pretty much, like a sizable percentage of the black men in the school were in my friend group. It was like you and like one of our other homies, and one of our other homies who was biracial. That was like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I still feel it wasn't really till I went to college where it was like most of my friends were white in college.
It's definitely something that to be aware of. Like, I wish that I could speak to certain people because I know like certain people that they take it serious. If you're like, oh yeah, like you hang out around a lot of white people, but it's like that's a look, bro. Like it says something about you.
It's
if you're
a look.
black,
It's a look.
if you're a black person who's just hanging around a lot of white people, and it rubs off on you in a certain way that you're just not aware of unless you have someone expose you to that.
Yeah.
I'm only talking about this because I come from experience. That's the only reason why. I wish you could just like kind of sit these people down and just kind of talk to them about it. I'm not close enough.
But I've seen it with my own eyes though. Like people probably thought the same about me, but like I knew all the black people though. Like even though most of my friends in college were white, I still knew a lot of the black people though. Like knew them by name. Like would dab them up on campus. I just didn't party with them like that. I didn't really see them. If I saw them on campus, it would be like, "What's up, bro?" Like, you know. But like,
and I know a lot of black people that come from my area that feel the same way. Where it's like, yeah, I just grew up around white people. I probably just innately feel more comfortable around white people because I have more experience with them. There's certain types. I mean, it's like, you know, black people are not the same as white people. So if you're trying to hang out with a bunch of black people or meet a bunch of black people, you're gonna have to have a different vibe.
Black people aren't a monolith either. Like we got to remember that because I know plenty of
black people are not the same as white people in terms of the way that we move. And I mean, you could probably find somebody that's reminiscent.
There are definitely shared things, but like we are not a monolith either.
No, but there's different subsects. It's probably the same in any other race. There's like, that's why we can make the distinction of a suburban black dude, and we know exactly what that means.
Yeah.
We know exactly what that means. I'm a suburban black dude, and people look at me and hear me talk, they gonna understand what that means. We know what a hood black dude is. Like, we just know what that means. It probably works the same way in white
culture. But it's like a white people. It's like a trailer park white. A trailer park white works the same way in any other probably like race. A hood black person. And like, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, these still white people. There's shared things that are culture, but like.
And like white trash, they talk about that too. But then you also have like the frat boys. That's not only where white people, but you know, or like the Silicon Valley guys. Like there's different subsects of culture in every single race. But it just kind of sucks, like when you kind of like witness that you spent so many years just, not that it's a bad thing or anything like that, but like it's also really, really cool to be around your own people and kind of get like a taste of that culture because it just exposes you to a different perspective. You know, I'm all about getting perspective.
Yeah.
So if I could be around a group of people that, you know, they don't look at the same, they don't look at things the same way I do, or you know, they expose me to something that I really wasn't aware of for such a long time, turn you on to certain things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a cool perspective. I like it.
But I don't know. I feel like some of it, I think some of it can be detrimental because I knew a dude, I didn't really know him, but like he lived like.
Some of what can be detrimental?
Just like only hanging around like one specific group of people and not getting that experience, even within your own race, you know what I mean? Just like meeting a lot of different kinds of people and not just hanging around the same subset of a certain group of people can be detrimental. Because there was a guy, he was like a suburban black, like you were saying, but you could tell it was like serious. You could tell, like you could kind of feel I could feel some little Larry Elder off him. I can't guarantee it, but you could just tell that he was like going extra hard. Like he was very much on that. Like I'm a suburban dude, but he was serious.
Oh, so he like identified it and like make it his like.
It identity. Was like his identity. Like he was like
from Calabasas.
He was Russian. He was like Russian. All like the real white boy frats.
I'm from.
He was like, he was like, you know what I mean? I thought it was like I don't know. And there was a girl like that too, who was kind of like that too. And they just gave me the weirdest vibes. You could tell there was no type of "what's up, brother" at all. Like with me, if I see a black person, I might not speak to you, but I'll be like, you know what I mean? Like get the nod. What's good? Like that's it. They're just like oblivious and clueless. Like they are like, you know what I mean? It was just some weird about it. Like there was like some Get Out vibes.
Because they don't identify.
They've been assimilated. I was like, whoa. Like,
they don't identify. Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's some people that were kind of pushed back against it. That's why having those conversations with them can be kind of gnarly because some people just push back against it where it's like, oh, you're just being racist. Why can't I hang out with white people? Or why can't I hang out with them?
There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like, don't get the shit confused.
Like, it's just good to have the exposure.
All I'm saying, like
at the end of the day, it's just good to have a subset of culture that aligns more with you.
But yeah, that's all I really got. I know we got all the way here from Swarm, but we can. Last thing I wanted to say about Swarm is apparently Dominique. Her name's Dominique Fishback. Pretty sure it's her
I don't
name.
know. That's your girlfriend.
She's fine though.
That's your girl.
I think that's her name, but I'm just double checking. Yeah, her name is Dominique Fishback. Yeah, she was the main.
My
she
love
plays in-
belongs to Halle Bailey and Raven Lenae.
Reverend is
That's
fine
it.
too, and Holly. I like Chloe better more than Holly, but Holly's beautiful though. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. But you know,
Halle been in the gym.
Chloe's
Fam.
fine though.
Chloe better watch out because Halle been in the gym.
Yeah, she's coming for the throne. So
Halle, yeah. Halle is Cersei. She gonna get there eventually. She gonna take it by storm.
But a lot of people are criticizing Donald Glover because he told her while she was playing the main character of Swarm. How am I forgetting her name, dude? The main character of Swarm. He told her, just act like an animal. Just act like an animal when you're playing this character.
I don't know why that's a big deal.
I don't really see it, but because people said it, he has such a problematic history with black women. He has such a problem.
That's what I was saying. Remember? Yeah. See, they will never let that shit go, bro.
So they're just kind of like
moment.
Her name was Dre. Yeah, in the show, the main character. It's like he has such a problematic history. People are just kind of like, well, this sounds like some coonery. This sounds like some anti-black women hatred.
I don't think so, bro. She's playing a serial killer. I think that's fine direction. He could have used. What if he used a specific? What if he said act like a lion,
or just act soulless? Just act like you're a killer. Like that probably would have been better. You know.
Well, I'm just saying when people get upset because sometimes it's just like people hear something and they get confused about like the terminology or something. They get stuck up on words when it's not really. They're not understanding the meaning. They don't ingest the meaning of the word. They just ingest the word. So that's why people always get upset because like it's not what you said, it's how you said it. Like nigga, no. But what did I say? Why are you offended by how I said something? What did I say?
But if you watch the show, like you'll see. I think maybe he meant when he said act like an animal because whenever she would kill people, she would get this fixation with junk food. It's like she would kill somebody and she would immediately just like, "Where's the chips? Where's the Doritos?" And she would immediately just start like overloading on junk food after she would kill somebody. I'm thinking maybe is that what he meant?
I don't know.
Like act like
I think that I think that in acting like an animal is pretty fine to say. When people say that a human being is acting like an animal, you know what that means. So I don't think that I don't understand that. But like I said, people will get one negative vibe from you. Something will happen in your past where people would take that and run with it your entire career, the entire length of time that you're in the limelight. And his just happens to be the fact that people think he's anti-black against women, which is unfortunate because I haven't seen anything that he's ever done to act on that. Is there any proof of that?
I don't see that. I don't know. Only thing I can tell, a lot of people didn't like that scene. There was a scene in Atlanta where it was like one of the main characters and her friends went to a Drake's house for a party. And Drake wasn't. That was a twist that Drake wasn't even there. He was like flying to like Italy or something like that. But he's like, grandpa was there. His grandpa was Mexican. He was like. They at the end of the episode, they were like, Drake's Mexican? And they just start playing like one of his songs, like Controlla in Spanish or something. Like, it was some dumb shit. It was funny. It was something like Donald Glover, like funny shit. But anyway, in that episode, there was like this famous black actor who was like, he was dating a white girl, and it was like a black woman, and in particular, she was dark skinned. And she went up to, and I feel like that was done deliberately because it was like the whole friend group was like a range of skin tones. But she like went up to like the white girl and was like angry and was like, "Why are you guys are always stealing our men? Like as soon as our men get successful, you guys are already there." And she's like, "Well, you weren't with him when he was at community theater. You thought he was a bum back then." She was like, "Well, black women don't have time to wait at the beginning and follow a man. We just wait at the finish line." So a lot of people thought that was like some bullshit. It's like, well, why did you?
Like he was subtweeting.
Like he was like, yeah. It's like, well, why did you bring the dark skinned black woman to be angry about the white woman? Isn't that some coonery?
That's interesting. Yeah,
like people didn't like that.
So they thought that was anti-black.
Some people thought that anti-black. Some people thought that wasn't problematic at all. It actually was speaking some truth. That was like, well, maybe black women don't have enough time to wait for us. They just want the winners now. But then I guess the question is, well, what's wrong with building with a man though? Like, what's wrong with seeing a potential and helping foster that potential?
Yeah. I mean, we always talk about that. Like, no one wants to build with anybody anymore. So maybe it's just the time of the day. Like, maybe it's just the era that we're living in. Nobody really feels like they need to spend time building because niggas want it now. Like, everything is so accessible. Let's just get the money right now. If you don't have the money right now, fuck am I waiting around for? I can go get it myself. So maybe it speaks to that. But if that's the only thing that people have talked about with Childish Gambino or Donald Glover being anti-black woman, that, I mean, I'm gonna need a little bit more proof than that. That's not enough for me to. We're also talking about artistry too. So And I understand like people could use the artistry in order to, you know, like R. Kelly. Like he was probably singing about some shit that he was doing in his real life. And nobody would really think about that because it's art, quote unquote art. But in art form like that, especially with somebody that has a mind like Donald Glover, where he's trying to kind of invoke things and, you know, fuck with people's minds in a little bit, mind fuck people. I don't think that he was doing those things in that example in Atlanta and in Swarm in order to demean black women. I don't think so.
I really felt like that was just opening a conversation because you can really look at both sides and really,
which is what art's supposed to do.
Yeah, you can really look at both sides and be like, well, you could her argument, you know, white woman's argument where I built with a man and he was successful. You could say, well, why more black women should do that? But then you can look at the black woman perspective where it's like, we don't have time to be waiting around like white girls and just playing around and just waiting with a man. We want the winners. We want the resources. We want to build now. Like you can make that argument there's nothing wrong with that either. And
which means that he succeeded. You know, I look over that entire shit. Like we talk about that all the time. Like as an artist, you know that you succeeded if you made people engage. So if you have a whole fleet of people on Twitter having arguments and discussion, niggas is on fucking what's that one app that people were on, that talking app? Yeah, niggas are on a Clubhouse
arguing for
having
hours.
these discussions. Yeah.
Hours,
celebrities,
not minutes and an hour for hours.
Got celebrities coming in to check in. Oh my goodness! You know, I don't know why that made me think. Probably because we're talking about Atlanta. Whatever happened to the situation with Lakeith?
I have
baby mama.
That disappeared. That probably wasn't as serious enough for people to care.
Completely forgot about that.
That really, and I haven't really heard from Lakeith at all. Period. Honestly, but I think
he was just in something recently, but I don't remember. I don't know why that made me think about that. Yeah, that Swarm was just all right though. I thought it was okay. You did see John Wick though. How was that?
I did see John Wick. That movie was badass. That movie was now I'm kind of switching around. I think it's probably a toss up between 2 and 4. I'm gonna put 4 recency bias. But I'm gonna go 4 in terms of best to worst. I'm gonna go 4, 2, 3, 1. And remember, 1 is still a great movie. But like that movie was so badass. They pulled out all the stops. Just like not the combat, the action scenes the movie was at its peak. There's no reason to make a 5. There's no reason to make a 5 because they've reached the peak anymore, and it would just be Hollywood junk. That movie was bad. That movie was legit.
I don't know, man. They probably will bring it back. I mean, we got a U season 5.
We got a U season 5.
It's all about making the money, bro. No, it's already been doing well. I think they made what, 30 million in like a day.
That movie gonna run. That movie was good.
It's gonna get about what do you think, like 600 mil? How much do they normally get?
I think they normally get like 600 mil.
Yeah,
I understand.
And these are like cult classic type movies. People are gonna be talking about the John Wick movies forever.
Yeah, he's like I think John Wick is close to. I don't think Neo will always be his like. When you think of him, you think Neo. John Wick is pretty close.
First.
John Wick is pretty damn close.
John Wick first. It's probably just because it's relevant. It's more in our face right now. It's actually happening in front of our face.
That's a legendary franchise, though. I think it's gonna be talked about for a long time.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the best franchise in terms of story. It's cool. World building is good though. I think the world building is better than most franchises that comes out of Hollywood. I
haven't seen 4 yet. I will when it comes on streaming. You know my thing with the movie theaters, but
it's not for everybody though. It really
I definitely think that it gets, I don't want to say worse every movie, but because it's so repetitive, the only thing that gets greater
is the kill scenes and the weapons.
Exactly. And so because of that, I would say that it descends. I think 1 is the best, then 2 is the best, then 3 is the best. That's what I think. I think it goes 1, 2, 3.
Because there are tropes. Like in every single John Wick movie, there's a club scene. There's a club. Even in 4, there's a club chase scene. And in 4, the music is like the music from 2, but it was a remix of the music from 2, the club music from 2. So even they are aware.
I do like
there's some repetitiveness to it.
In every movie, they have different cultures that get involved. I love that part. I think that's really cool. And from what I've seen, you can spoil it. I don't mind.
In 4, spoiler. In 4, they go to Japan for a large part of the movie, so you get to see like the Japan Continental, and they're using bows and katanas.
He fought them in the third one.
He fought them in the third one, but he didn't go to Japan in the third one. But he actually went to Japan in the fourth one.
And then there's some Russian.
Then he went to there's some Russian, and then I don't think he went to Russia, but I think Russia got involved. he got involved with his family because he was part of the Russian mob.
And that was in the second one. I think they touched on that.
They touched on that in the third one, I think, because he went to the Russian mob in the third one. But he in the fourth one he went back to them again, and then he went to Paris. A large part of the movie of the second half of the movie, he was in Paris.
I like the fact that they do that. I think that's really cool. Even when he got caught in the sands and stuff, and he had to cut off his finger and shit like that. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
That's that world building shit though. That's what I like. See, that I think John Wick is at his best when they're explaining the assassin and high table culture in the in the fight scenes. If you want to see some better than above average Hollywood lore, and you want to see people get fucked up, you're gonna love John Wick. Like,
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's action movies, but they do add a little bit more of an element of, because even the way that like every movie, every sequel starts where the last one immediately ended, that's cool. That's a different take on film.
This one didn't though, but he was so fucked up. He was so fucked up at the end of 3.
It should have. So what happened?
At 3, he couldn't even walk basically.
Well, because he jumped off the fucking building.
Yeah, he trained with the homeless dude for like a month or 2. So
wait. So how does it begin? Like,
how it began was that
what's the first scene?
Lawrence Fish. What's his name? You know what I mean. Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne. He was just like underground in some railroad place, and he's like walking, and he's like going to these security checkpoints because he's like the king. He runs like this homeless mafia. It's like these guys who pretend to be homeless, but they're like a gang. And like he goes into like this chamber deep underground in New York somewhere, and he opens the chamber, and John Wick is just like training martial arts, and he's like punching this like wood thing, but the punches, like the subwoofers in the theater were like the blows were landing. Like you felt that shit in the chairs.
So is there no flashback to see how the hell he survived that fall?
No, there's no flashback.
Didn't that happen in the third one though?
In the third one, Winston, his homie who runs the hotel, shot at him, and he fell off the building.
Right, and he survives.
And he survives it because one of the homeless guys comes to get him and takes him to Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, and he was like, "Are you mad? Are you pissed?" And he's like,
and Lawrence Fishburne was mad too because they cut him up. The high table cut him up because he helped John in 2.
Right. I remember that.
They went in and killed and attacked anybody who helped John in 2, basically.
Yeah. All right. I hate the fact that he survived that. I thought that was the dumbest thing, bro.
Well, spoilers for people who haven't seen it. He does not survive in 4. Okay. So
yeah, you told me that.
Well, it's a little ambiguous. There's some cheese in it, but they said that they have no plans of making 5. There's no script pinned, and if they do it, it's probably going to be like 4 or 5 years from now, if not more.
No,
it's going to be like this. The series is closed. You know what I mean? Like
they're going to say that because they want people. That's part of marketing. That's called advertising.
But they are making a spinoff though, so they're getting marketing. Their money. The universe is interesting enough that they're going to make a spinoff called The Continental.
Can you imagine how much money Marvel would make off whatever bullshit movie they made next if they said, this is going to be the last and final Marvel movie ever? People would always go watch those types of things because it's like you're basically, that's the marketing appeal, is that it's the last thing. You know, people love exclusivity. So
yeah.
They're lying to you when they say that, Elliot. I mean, you got to look through that one. You got to see through that one.
But
John Wick though.
John Wick was good, dude. Like some of the fight scenes were like fucking sick. One of the fight scenes literally looked like a video game, like one of those top-down video games where it's just like like shooting, like you just see it.
He's like the 2010s guy, like for like maybe like
he's like 2010s Rambo,
Jason
bro.
Statham, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's like, you're like the Bourne. He's like, he's like a modern day like Bourne.
He's like that guy.
Or like Agent 57, wherever that fucking guy is. Like,
I don't think we have anybody else that's making those movies right now. Fast and Furious is kind of like that.
Fast is garbage, dude. I saw that trailer.
I haven't seen it.
It's so goofy. Like, you mean to tell me just some like street racer guys and now like CIA like stopping nukes and shit? Like, stop. That's corny. It's corny. Fast is
I thought
corny.
They were all criminals. Wait, because someone needs to explain this because I
some of them, bro. They like stop nuclear bombs. They fight terrorists and like stop nukes. And they like ride around. They're getting shot by like helicopters, and they're like, all right, let me hit this ramp. And they'll hit the ramp and like fly in the air, and they'll like crash into the helicopter and like take it out. Or
so
they're like shooting.
Fugitives?
I don't know, dude. They like live normal lives, and all of a sudden, like a terrorist is like, I kidnapped your girlfriend and I have nuclear codes.
Like just stupid shit. Like
I'm so far behind in that series to where, or in that franchise to where I don't even know, because it began where they were fugitives and Paul Walker was a cop who was supposed to bust them.
something
But
like
he ended
that.
up joining the group.
They were like street racing criminals, something like that. And they were
And
like,
now they've gotten so close. I guess they have relationships with, like you said, like CIA dudes and FBI dudes. So how the fuck are they still? They must have like some type of. Is it like a Suicide Squad thing where they're just kind of like doing?
I think it is like a Suicide Squad thing where they've like accomplished so much. The CIA is kind of like, you guys are like honorary members or some stupid
impressed.
shit. Like,
But if you fuck up, we'll take you to jail.
they
type
like
shit.
do stupid stunts where they'll like drive a plane they'll drive a car off the plane, or they'll just be in the air and then like the plane will have like just like ridiculous stunts. I can't certain movies like I can suspend my disbelief. Like John Wick is a little ridiculous. There's like no way this man can do what he does. It's like movie ridiculousness, but it's like in good taste and you know what you're getting. But Fast just like stretches it way too thin.
Yeah.
Like even in John Wick, there are things that he can't do. There's like, he gets in situations where it's like, yeah, nobody's surviving that. Not even this movie dude with plot armor. But in Fast, they just pull off like bullshit in Fast.
Yeah, I think people want to see that though. I think that's why those movies are so.
They pull
big.
off shit that's just not even possible.
I think they want to see that type of fantasy element of an action movie. I think so, which is unfortunate because that's just not a good look. I don't personally enjoy it. Not to shit on anybody that likes them, but
yeah, because with John Wick, I always think a lot of times they like feed John. Like it'll be like 100 guys, and they'll just come in groups of 5 to fight him. That's like, all right, you 5 go. They'll get fucked up. All right, next 5 go. When all of them could just pull up and just light his ass up. There's nothing he could do. But sometimes he does have those situations where he'll come around a corner and there's like 20 niggas. All right, then he has to run. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah,
he can't do it. But in Fast, it'll just be some bullshit where it's like, well, the car's bulletproof, so I'll just drive the car and I'll hop out and rig a bomb to it. Like they'll just do like dumb shit in Fast. Like I don't know.
Let's talk about 6ix9ine, dude. You want to talk about 6ix9ine?
Yeah, we can talk about 6. There's nothing to really talk. Dude's just getting his punishments. Like,
I kind of, in a way, don't kill me, but I kind of, in a way, feel bad that he got jumped.
No,
I don't think anybody. I don't think he deserves
extent.
like a lot of the scorn that he's getting from random people these days. I mean, it's random people that are beating his ass that are coming for him. He was fucking working out. Yeah. Like he's just working out, doing his own thing. No security. This man isn't a threat anymore. Y'all just come and beat his ass.
Because I feel like you just have a justified target. I feel like, especially with a lot of humans, if you can dehumanize somebody and identify them as somebody that you can unleash your rage on with no consequence or very little consequence, people are going to do it.
What's the rage for him about?
I don't know. Like, it's not like he snitched on you.
Snitch?
It's not like he snitched on you or your family member. He snitched on some random people you don't even know. But you see that as an opportunity to terrorize the man because you feel justified in unleashing your anger and hatred on somebody.
He's just a normie now. He don't have none of the money, none of the security, and the jewelry.
He's been
Like
blackballed. He's been blackballed from the industry, so it's not like he has anything really.
Yeah, I don't think he has anything to his name. I think he's just a normal dude now. And people are just taking that as an opportunity to beat his ass, which is kind of funny in a way, but at the same time, I kind of feel bad for him because I don't think anybody deserves that.
I would say I'd be strapped, but he probably can't be strapped. He probably.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, he wasn't convicted of a crime, but maybe it's a state he's in. I don't know what state he's in. Maybe it's a state that he's in. Maybe he can't bring a gun into wherever he was at. But if I was him, I'd be strapped in any way possible.
Yeah, it was humiliating, and they recorded the shit too. You see that one dude was talking about, the one guy that has the cop, and he always has those videos about how to escape this type of situation. He did one for 6ix9ine in the bathroom. That shit is so funny to me.
Why couldn't he get up? I thought it was weird that he just couldn't get up. I know he was.
If multiple people are jumping your ass, it's probably best that you stay on the ground. It probably gives you the most vantage. I mean, we learned that in UFC.
I would try to run, but they probably had him so cut off. Me knowing me, I would try to run, bro.
It was multiple dudes. You're not gonna run nowhere.
I'll be
you think
jabbing,
that they have multiple dudes?
All you gotta do is just jab right here, pop a dude in his throat, have him reel back, and just push through. Just do that rip from football. Just go through.
You've been watching too much John Wick.
And just
you
get
sound
through
like
there.
you sound like the cop dude in the videos. I think that's the best way to handle the situation. If you think that you're just going to be able to run out of the bathroom, bro, if multiple people are jumping your ass, you don't think they have someone covering the exit?
He's crazy at this point that he doesn't at least have some mace on him. I would have been spraying. I would have been tasing. I would have been spraying. He's the main person who should at this point have some kind of protection on him at all times. Even if it's
I would
even if
just
it's not a gun.
disappear. I would just disappear. The problem is that he's still talking. He still like trends on social media for saying shit and doing shit. He needs to just shut the fuck up and disappear. I don't know why he's still in the States, to be honest. He's probably in the same area that he got in trouble for.
Probably.
Which is just asinine. It's kind of dumb if you think about it.
The neighborhood hates you. You probably put away a lot of the main people in the neighborhood.
I would go to some like suburban city where, and then not gonna be no problems. There's a Starbucks on every corner. That's where I would go.
Uh-huh. That's all I really gotta say. 6ix9ine is a clown, but I think they should leave the man alone. It's not like he did anything to you. We know he's a snitch. There's plenty of people who snitch and they're not getting jumped. I feel like with him, he's just a target. He's just like, it's been made okay to attack him on sight.
Yeah. And he's like an enemy of the culture. Culture doesn't like him. Is he even black? He be saying nigga all the time.
No, he's not black. He's one of the, he's like, I'm telling you, you see this all the time with a lot of non-black people who live in New York who have been given okay by coons to say the N-word. Think it's perfectly fine, and a lot of times their families hate black people. It's to me, it's no different than a white person saying N-word, but they get a pass all the time. And Latino isn't a race; it's an ethnicity.
Why would we give that a pass? How did he get a pass?
Because dudes in New York think it's okay.
It's obviously not just New York. He was huge. He was going to play.
But he's from New York. He was probably saying that way before he got famous. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's too bad.
That's where it came. That's where it originated.
What a loser.
Even in California, a lot of people who are Latino say N-word all the time. Not around me, but just in general. Like,
what do you say to him?
Well, I've come across it before when I was younger. I didn't question. I admit it. I didn't question when I was a kid because the dude's Puerto Rican. He probably listens to the podcast, but if I ever see him again, I'm gonna question it.
What?
Because I didn't question it. Only reason I didn't question it is because I'm pretty sure he's like a quarter black, but you can't. If you look at him, you can't tell. He doesn't look like he got any black in him to me.
That said is so funny. You literally said I didn't question him because he's Puerto Rican.
But you could maybe 6ix9ine is Puerto Rican, but I didn't question because I was like maybe. But now I used to always think about it like I've let it go on for too long. But what should I say? But now I haven't seen him in years. But if I ever
just ask,
I'm gonna press him the next time. That's all.
The next time I just ask, "Are you black?" And then they'll have to say, "No," because it's not just Latinos that do that shit. There's Asian people that do this shit. There's white people that do this shit. Everybody does that shit. I just ask him, "Are you black?" Or ask the homie. Ooh, that's even better. If I ask the homie that he's with, the close homie, who's like up, bigging him up. Oh, nigga, you so funny. Oh, nigga. Is he black? And then he'll be like, no. That shit is funny. Because I don't feel the need personally to like, stand up and be like, oh, you shouldn't be saying that word. I don't feel the need to be doing all that. I just want to see that they feel that shame. So I'll just ask them. Because they know it's wrong. Yeah,
I just haven't pressed him on it, but I probably should press him. I haven't seen him.
No, I don't think there's any need. I mean, personally, maybe I sound like a coon by saying it, but I don't think there's any need for people to be like, yeah, you can't say that word. Like, no, you shouldn't be saying that word. Even if white people.
It'd be different though, because I've heard white people say it, and I press them. But I guess I'm on the same thing where I have a soft spot for Latinos, not
for melanated.
I don't even say melanated, even though, I don't know. He doesn't, to me, I don't know. We're not going to spend too much time on it, but like, when white people say it, I get on that ass. But like, when it's, Latinos, I'm one of the ones who kind of just let it slide a little bit. Now, that was years ago, but now I'm like, I haven't come across it in like recent,
I would
last
like to dive
5-6
into
years.
that. I think that's
in the last 5-6 years, I've kind of had an awakening on a lot of different things. I would not let that shit slide anymore. But I can admit in the past, I let it slide. Only with him, though. That's the only person I've ever let it slide with. Anybody else, I get in that ass. But that's just me.
Even black people say that, niggas. See, I just did it right there.
And I say it a lot more now, even though I probably shouldn't be saying it. I think the word should just be dead and period. But that's just me.
Oh, so you agree with that? That's what I was going to say, that some black people think that the word shouldn't even be used by anybody.
Yeah, and I use it
sometimes. It's a racist word regardless.
But I think it should be deadened. But like we reclaim the word. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's power in that, but a lot of people use that as an excuse to be genuinely racist and hide behind it.
Like black people?
No, like other groups of people. There's plenty of people.
Oh, well, other groups of people. That's what. But that's
well, black say it. I'm saying duh. I'm not saying and they don't like black people. It's just an excuse. It's just it's a gaslight. It's like it's something they can hide behind, something they can throw back on you.
No, they still get in trouble for that though. They get in trouble for that. Or like how you can catch somebody like that one dude we covered, the quarterback who said "nigga" in a song because he was singing along with the song. People get it reprimanded for that. They do.
But yeah, that's all I really want to talk about. I kind of don't even want to talk about this crypto thing.
Why?
You're
the crypto guy. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Are you just tired?
I'm just tired. I'm kind of tired.
Oh, okay. If you want to cut it, we could cut it. I thought we had some. We still have some information
we
to talk about.
We hit a lot today, so I think we can cut it. We're going
a few topics.
We're going longer than we usually go in like the last couple of weeks.
I don't think so. I think we're right on time, but we could cut it. Let's just go to deep cuts. But let's go ahead and get out of here. It was a good episode. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning into the Top Tier Podcast. This was a pleasure. Stay safe. Stay sane. Catch you next time. Same place, same time next week. Peace.
All right, y'all. Take it easy.